just have our file here, just to kind of remove the paint, tap it down. So for pouring, it's pretty straightforward. +1, but for a guy like Tony Finau, +4, +3. Bubba Watson back in the day was +15, +13. And now you can go out and hit it. So we have a driver here for Corey Connors, G440 10.5 LST. So we'll get started. He has his own UST link with his name on it, actually, that they give to us. So we have those in stock. We're going to tip it 1 inch, pretty typical for what we do. We have a ruler on our cut saw for 1 inch, make it really easy. Tip it. Next, we got to do the prep. So we just have our file here that we just do by hand. Just to kind of remove the paint. You don't want to get too deep to create any sort of durability issue. There's a nice even pressure and rough it up so that the epoxy has something to stick to. Come over here. We have our drawer full of all the components we need. We have 440, obviously 430 hybrids, old stuff, G400, extra hot melt, kind of anything that we need. It's just our little component drawer. Cool. So put the plug on the tip there to help the epoxy evenly distribute throughout the inside of the sleeves. And then from there, do the epoxy. So we have our DP810. This is 5 to 20 or 15 to 20 minutes. If you just let it air dry, 2-part epoxy. You put a little bit of sand in there just to help the fit while it's curing be nice and tight. Doesn't provide anything once it's cured, just a little bit tighter fit. As long as it's all mixed together, put a little bit in the sleeve itself. Nice even coat inside. And then roll the shaft, same thing. And then we're doing this in the standard setting, so we want to line the graphics up. We give it a little twist as it goes down to make sure that we get a nice even layer of epoxy around there for maximum strength. Push it down. And then we'll tap it and then wipe it. Tap it down. Make sure it's seated properly. Alcohol there, and we just wipe it to clean it off. So it looks nice and pretty. And our last step is we line up the graphics. It's not crucial, but some players care. Last thing after we wipe it, we actually have a device here that we just put it in, and it just helps it settle for a few minutes before we put it in the oven. This obviously says 5-lobe sleeve, but we have an 8 at this point, but it still fits. This is just to allow it to settle. We always put it settle in the standard position. That way, there's a little bit of play in hosels or in sleeves in general. So if we have it sit for a minute or two, all in the same orientation, we hope that if we interchange a shaft and a head, they'll have the same loft, because there is just there's a slight amount of play in there to allow for the epoxy. Obviously, you couldn't be perfectly tight if you would have any adhesion. And so we let that settle there for about a minute or two, and then we'll put it over our curing cell, which heats it up to about 160 degrees, gives us a 5-minute cure time, so that we can continue to build perfectly. So we can get a driver out in 10 to 12 minutes if we really needed to, but do it quickly. Once it's done settling, a minute or two, then we just bring it over here to our curing cell that we have, and we stick it in. Turn it on. We do about 5 minutes. It's going to heat up to about 160 degrees. And again, that will take us from 15 to 20 minutes to 4 to 5 minutes of curing. When it's done with this 5-minute interval here, it's ready.
Yeah.
Like it could literally go out and hit it. It could go out and hit it on the range. Obviously, there's no grip, but in general, the grip tends to be the thing that slows us down the most. Like they have to wait 10 to 15 minutes the grip to dry,
right,
and that's usually what limits us.
Right. Makes sense.
So it's not the epoxy.
No.
So Corey plays 45 1/4. So we have our USGA standard ruler that we use for woods. You bring it over here. On this truck, we actually cut length an 1/8 short to make up for the butt cap on all of our woods. So we'll actually cut this at 45 1/8. So we've marked that 45 1/8. It is right there. Then we'll bring it over to our cut saw. Power dust. Okay. Little deeper. And then we'll just do a quick double check. Double check, see where we're at.
We're right at 45 1/8.
Next up, we found a head that we like, digitally lofted at 9.5, exactly what we were looking for in the dot. Corey plays the MCC Black Blue 60 round plus a 1 round. So we're going to go ahead and do that now. A lot of you people know about the grip spindle, but for those who don't, the grip spindle was invented by Carson Solheim himself probably 60 years ago. It's a pretty basic system, but it allows us to do our spiral tape, something that, as far as I know, is only Ping does. Some people argue that the double-sided way we do it and the way the other OEMs do it is the same, but I think where it really shines is when we talk about our build-up. So most other companies will do double-sided build-up where we actually do masking tape, and where that helps us is when we go to do re-grips. We don't have to redo any of the build-up. So for Corey, it's pretty straightforward, +1, but for a guy like Tony Finau, +4, +3. Bubba Watson back in the day was +15, +13. So if we had to every time we do a re-grip, if we had to redo that, we'd be here for an hour and a half with one set of irons. Where, you know, if like Mackenzie Hughes, another thing, +3, +2, all we have to do is take the top layer of double-sided tape off and then put a new top layer back on. We don't have to redo any of the build-up. That helps us and speed this up a lot. So we think that's where double-sided tape really shines. So from here, we just take a look at how far the grip is. So it's that way it's nice and even. We use this indicator right there by the G is where his grip ends, and we just put it on and just spiral it on. Pretty straightforward like that. Goes on, gaps fairly even. Cut it off, and then from there, all we need is the double-sided tape. It's done. Yeah. So get it started. Give it a spin, cut it perf edge, and then cap it off. Ready to go. Pretty even there. That looks good. You know, our simple air vise. Put it in. We have our grip here ready to go. Take off that. Do our solvent inside the grip. Make sure it's looped up. Deactivates the tape. Always cover that hole because you'll get sprayed with solvent if you don't. One last thing we do, we have another grip. We just make sure that the grip is on the proper length. This one I stretched a little bit. So make sure it's good and even on his. Corey is a little more particular about this. So that looks good. And then the last check, just kind of look at it, make sure it's good and square. RI. Yeah, that looks good. And then on to the hot melt and the swing weight. So this is a pretty unique build for us. Actually, we're looking for 10 grams forward, 5 out on the toe. So Kenton has worked with Corey on this. This is the way he wants this built. So we're going to take our hot melt gun, put 5 grams of it, or 10 grams of it forward. That's just to help knock some of the spin down, get a little bit more penetrating of a flight. Just something we can do to help them, you know, customize their ball flight. Something that actually people can do. A lot of people think, oh, this only happens on the tour trailer. If people wanted this to be done, we can have it done through PingWorks. So it can be ordered that way as well, if people want to do that. Okay. So first things first, we actually just use our swing weight scale to know how much we're putting forward. So right now it says it's A6 plus. So we need to get it with 10 grams. So 10 grams, 7 to 8 swing weights, roughly at this length. So we just take our hot melt gun, heat it up. One full pull of the gun here is about 5 grams. So that helps. So we'll do 1, and then 2, and we make sure that we lean it toward where we need the hot melt to flow. So it comes out at 300 degrees. It flows for about 10, maybe to 20 seconds, and you can feel it. You don't want to hold your hand there, but you can feel it. You know, it comes out, and we need to just let it settle, so that once it cools, it'll stay in that spot. So 10 forward. So we'll just give it a couple seconds here. I would say 10 forward is a little more than we typically do. We might do, 5, 3, somewhere in there, just to kind of fine tune it. But in general, 10's quite a bit. But we can do all sorts of different positions: heel, toe, crown for sound if we want. We can put it back. You can kind of put it wherever you need it, just to help fine tune that ball flight. So then from there, we're gonna just check it to see if we got all 10. And yeah, looks like we did. So we got 10. Now we need to do 5 more on the toe. That's to help just keep the head and the toe open just a little bit longer to promote a little bit more of a right ball flight. So for that, it's just one full squeeze kind of down into the toe. From there, feel it. Yeah. Settling kind of right there in that toe position. We have hot melt in. We have our range of weights. In this case, we're going to put a 26 gram back weight in there because of the amount of hot melt we did. We have to do a slightly lighter back weight. So it fits in nice and easy there. We use these just to be quick. And then, of course, you got to make sure to crank it to make sure it heats the right spec for the like. It's. And then one final thing, got to plug that hole. And now you can go out and hit it.